Today, Windows Mobile is a pretty but hobbled smartphone platform ostensibly built for business. But about 2 years ago, Windows Phone was a family of trailblazing handhelds with a style you couldn't find anywhere else. I'm Michael Fisher, and the phone I'm holding is a remnant of that brighter, bolder time. This is the Windows Phone that never was, the Nokia McLaren. If you know anything about Windows phones, you can probably see where the inspiration for this design came from. Remember that phone that AT&T was pushing about 3 years ago? The one with the bumblebee paint job and the 41-megapixel camera? That was the Lumia 1020. And this is what Windows fans might have called the 1030. This is a prototype obtained by Windows Central. Pardon all the tape, but it's there to hide all the serial numbers. In the hand, it feels like what it looks like. A larger, metal-clad version of the 1020 with that immense camera crater around back, making things a little awkward until you get used to it. The specs are unremarkable for a late 2014 device, which is no surprise. Windows Phone ran very well on even low-end hardware, so there was no reason to spec it out. And even though that massive camera suggests some intense optical stabilization, the sensor within was not 41 megapixels, but instead somewhere between 21 and 23. And since the camera software was never completed on this device, we don't know anything more about it. The real standout feature of McLaren is its sensor package, which would have made it a much more exotic Windows Phone than any we'd seen before. The 5.5-inch display is self-capacitive, which means it detects your finger based on how it changes the charge of the electrodes mounted beneath the glass. That means it's capable of sensing your finger well before it touches the glass. And that would have made possible a bunch of new interface options. This particular phone was programmed with only two. Mix View lets you hover your finger over a tile and watch it explode into subtiles, which is a neat party trick, but in my opinion, not terribly useful. We saw similar stuff from Sony and Samsung a few years back. Much more impressive to me is the fact that McLaren can sense how it's being held. So if you're gripping the phone upright and lean it onto its side, it'll prevent that accidental rotation and keep the software in portrait mode. But if you hold it in another way that tells the phone you want to view things in landscape, it'll do that for you. That's the idea anyway. This is pre-release software at its buggiest. And that's just a tiny taste of the intuitive capabilities Microsoft was cooking up and might still be working on. As recently as 2 months ago, it posted a video demonstrating all kinds of pre-touch features on what looks like another McLaren. I'll drop the link to that video in the description. Some will call this empty gimmickry, incapable of ever pushing Windows Phone into relevance, and maybe the latter point is true. To me, though, the McLaren stands for more than that. It's both a landmark to a once great phone manufacturer and an echo of a Microsoft that once embraced doing things differently, boldly striking out in the opposite direction of the competition, not just for the sake of being different, but because in some ways its design choices made more sense, and it wasn't afraid to express that. It's a shame it didn't work out. Windows 10 Mobile, though superior in many ways, still lacks the vibrance and stability of the earlier versions. But I'm glad I got to share with you what might be the last remnant of that exciting era. There's a lot more to the McLaren, folks, and if you're looking for a true deep dive, be sure to hit up Windows Central for the full write-up and 2 more videos, links in the description below. Also, subscribe to MrMobile for more videos just like this. We'll see you next time.